Hello and welcome. Today we're going to learn about bug tracking. We already started documenting bugs and we have a lot of questions about it. And it's good because now, today, we're going to learn why do we even need to track bugs and how to track bugs and how to document them. So the plan for today, what is a bug tracking system? Why do we need it? What's the bug workflow? How do we find bugs? And bug template. And also, we're going to learn about the communication tool, Slack. You're going to be using it. I'm 99% sure that you're going to be using it on your new job and your favorite homework. All right, so congratulations, you found a bug. This is a really cool feeling, right? So the next step, you go to your developer or developers, and you're gonna tell him or her that you found a bug. You just like casually walk to the developer and say, "Hey, I found a bug." He's gonna say, "Oh no, you found a bug." So developers probably is gonna say that he's going to fix it, and this is really good news. And but our developer had 5 meetings today, and there were two other keys that said that they found some bugs also, and our developer just forgot about our bug at all. And we also had 5 meetings, and then another developer came by and said that the functionality, some other functionality is ready for testing. And you forgot to remind the developer to fix that bug, and the developer didn't fix it. And we released on production with this bug. On production with the bug. Wow. And then we see that our users, our real users, started leaving bad reviews about our applications. And then your boss come to you and say, okay, so what happened with the bug? I thought you found it. And you go back to your developer and you try to explain that you already found a bug and it was a developer who didn't fix it, and everybody just forgot about this bug. So that's why we need bug tracking system. Bug tracking helps to ensure that the bugs you found in the system actually get fixed. Yeah, it's really good if you a tester and you have a little chat with a developer, and you're trying to reproduce or recreate the problem together. But the problem, if they don't fix the bugs immediately, then you'll just forget about them, and developer will forget about them too. But if the problem gets fixed immediately, it's great. But yeah, I also like when the developers are opening ticket and just creating, adding a little bit of information what we fixed. But if it just gets pulled down somewhere on a mental to-do list, there's a good chance that it will slip through the cracks. So the phrase issue tracking may sound a little too dramatic, but it's really just a specialized to-do list. If you join a project that is already in a progress, probably tracking system will help you speed up a little bit much faster. Just a quick review of your team notes will let you know what kind of progress and pain points they have occurred. There are a lot of different bug tracking systems, Jira, Asana, But Jira and Asana are the most popular within the companies and startups. And we already created bugs in Trello, so you know what is Trello. And it's also a bug tracking system. So, and even Google Sheets can be a bug tracking system. It doesn't matter which bug tracking tool you use. The most important thing is CRUD principle in the bug tracking systems. So we need to be able to create an issue, and you found a bug and you need to document it somewhere. Read a developer and you can read it. You need to be able to update an issue and delete or close the bug after it was fixed. So if you know how this principle works, you'll be able to work in every bug tracking system easily. On your first day on your new job, your QA manager or your boss will show you how to create a bug, how to assign it to someone, and the bug workflow, because the bug workflow depends on different companies and depends on different teams even within the companies. So, but to have the confidence in creating bugs, you need to find and document them. At least a couple of times in different systems, like Jira and Asana, for example. They have free trials, so you can easily register and add bugs in there. Please do it. Okay, so why do we need these bug tracking systems? A bug tracking system assures that defected bugs are fixed and keep track of a full history of issues, updates, and status changes. All of them were designed to make the workflow of software developers and QAs easier. And the bug tracking systems, they're applications that help the teams of software developers and QAs to defect bugs, report them, and create bug lists. That's it. The main principle of the bug tracking system is just quite simple. Every bug tracking process is subdivided into several stages. Let's talk about bug workflow. Okay, so here we see a little bug life cycle. It's just an example. Bug life cycle depends on the teams and the companies. Your boss will tell you how to do it on your first day of your new job. Okay, so let's focus on this example. What is new? At the top of this flow, we see new. So when a defect is logged and posted for the first time, the state is given as new. Assigned. Once the bug is posted by you, the lead QA approves the bug and assigns the bug to the developer team. There can be two scenarios. First, that the defect can directly be assigned to a developer who owns the functionality of the defect, or it can also be assigned to the developer lead. And once it's approved with the developer lead, he or she can further move it to the defect to the developer. Open. In this state, when the developer starts analyzing and working on the defect. Fixed. When developer makes necessary code changes and verifies the changes, then he or she can make bug status as fixed. This is also an indication to the developer lead that the defects on fixed status are the defect which will be available to tester to test in the coming build. Retest. At this stage, the tester, you, do the retesting of the changed code which developer has given to you to check, and you verify was the defect fixed or not. Once the latest build is pushed to the environment, the dev lead move all the fixed defects to retest. It's an indication to the testing team that the defect is ready to test. Reopened. If the bug still exists, even after the bug is fixed by the developer, which happens a lot, the tester changes the status to reopened, and the bug goes through the life cycle again. Deferred. The bug changed to deferred state means the bug is expected to be fixed in the next releases. The reasons for changing the bug to this state have many factors, and some of them just priority of the bug may be low, or lack of time for the release, or the bug may have some major effect on the software. Rejected. If the developer feels that the bug is not genuine, or he or she cannot reproduce it, the developer rejects the bug. Then the state of the bug is changed to rejected. Duplicate. If the bug is repeated twice, or the two bugs mention the same concept of the bug, then latest bug status is changed to the duplicate. Closed. Once the bug is fixed, woohoo! And it's tested by us, testers. If the tester feels that the bug is no longer exists in our application, he or she changes the status to closed. The state means that the bug is fixed, tested, and approved. All right, so let's see how to find bugs. How do we find bugs? Okay, now we know the workflow of the bug, but how do we actually find a bug? We already know the importance of understanding the whole application or module in depth before starting the testing. We created mind maps, we described the application, we started creating test cases and checklists. So the key is to prepare good test cases before start to test. I mean, keep stress on functional test cases, which include the major risk of the application. And perform repeated tests with a different test environment. So we already know the first two, right? So understand the application and good test cases, we already have it. But what is a different test environment? Okay, so test environments and cross-browser testing is where we usually see the code for testing. The test environment is not accessible for public. So test environment might have a different name in the address link than the production site. For example, www.testenvironment.google.com or staging.google.com. I say Google just for example, it may be your company website. It could be test.yourcompanyname.com, or sometimes there are multiple testing environments. But you need to make sure that you're testing on the right environment, and you will know what test environments you have on your first day of your new job, 100%. So what is a cross-browser testing? Here in this course, we are talking mostly about web applications, and multiple users are using different applications and browsers. So for example, if you open any website on Chrome or on Firefox, they may look different, and it happens a lot. And also Chrome and Firefox can be on multiple machines. So on Windows 10 and OS 6, it can be totally different. Your testing application will look totally different. And cross-browser testing is a check that your web application works as expected in different browsers. Those days when the Internet Explorer was the only browser available in the market are gone. So there are many new browsers, and for example, on my phone, I have iPhone, and I don't use Chrome. I use just Safari. But there are also different other browsers on my computer for testing. I have Chrome, I have Internet Explorer, I have Firefox, I have Opera, I have Safari, and yeah, I think, and different versions of the browser, because sometimes when you don't update the version of your browser, and the developer did a fix in a new version of the browser, you are still gonna see the bug in your old version of the browser, but on the new version of the browser, it's fixed. So we need to make sure that we test in multiple browsers. But instead of testing compatibility with all browsers, just target the major browsers and test your application on them. What do I mean by that? It means that I had a client and they were using only Internet Explorer. It was a really it was an application with the code from 2000s, and they were just simply not supporting new version of the browsers, and all of the users were using Internet Explorer too. So that was totally okay. That's why we need to know who are our users and what are they doing, what are their goals. That's why in our first lecture we discovered how to do it. We need to ask questions. Okay, so now we know that we need to test, for example, in 5 different browsers. So what do we do next? Where do we find those 5 browsers? And I'm going to show you a little bit later. So, for example, we have 5 different browsers opened, and we just execute our test case again, and on those different browsers. And to help to do it, you don't need 5 different computers. You just need a very cool tool. It's called Browser Stack. So Browser Stack is a cloud, web, and mobile testing platform that helps developers and QAs to test websites and mobile applications across real browsers, operating systems, and real mobile devices without requiring users to install or maintain an internal lab of virtual machines, devices, or emulators. So what does it mean? It means that you can check your application in multiple browsers and find more bugs and get paid. These days, you may have only one laptop and be able to test on multiple real machines, computers, and browsers. So, BrowserStack is just a website. You go to browserstack.com, and let me show you how it's gonna look like. Okay, let me open this is our browser stack, and once you log in, you can do it yourself, and please do. So once you log in, you're gonna have a trial. I think it's about 15 minutes in total, But once you pay, which I don't recommend doing it, because you're gonna have it paid by your employer on your when you start your first job. You're gonna see the website like this. So what do we see here? Here, it's called Live, browser stack Live, and this is our dashboard. See, here we see different web browsers. So, for example, I want to test the website on Mac, on Catalina Opera latest, or Opera 58, right? So let's oh, that's a cute edge icon. Okay, we'll click on Opera. And we wait till it uploads. And this is a real machine. This is a real computer. So here I'm gonna put my website that I'm testing. Just gonna remove this part. It should allow me without any password. Yeah, and here I see and here I see our website. So you can also change the resolution, different resolution for different machines, and it's going to restart. Here's our resolution, new resolution. We can change the location. For example, I want to be in Brazil, and it's going to change the IP address to Brazil. Here we go, we see our staging. Ooh, okay, we're not going to do it. Or we can even report on Slack some bugs that we found. And we can change the browser. For example, right now I wanna test something on Windows. For example, I have only Windows 10, so I have all those browsers, all the latest versions of the browsers. But on Windows 8.9, 8.1, I don't have Internet Explorer 11. And it's launching. It's launching. Ooh, the server. Okay, so maybe it's not a good example. So let's do it on latest. Internet Explorer. Yeah, and Browser Star has a lot of bugs. So just like every web application, it has bugs. So don't worry about it. Sometimes I write bugs to Browser Stack, and just they're really friendly over there. So I write something to them, and they test it. Oh, it's that because I was in I changed my IP. So I think you need to purchase the IP extension. Okay, I'm gonna just stop and do it somewhere over here. And then we'll try to let's do none. Maybe it will work. It's gonna use your own IP address to connect, and I hope it's gonna work. Yeah, so it's working. It was because I changed the IP address. So I'm gonna open our website, and yeah, it opens really good. And here I'm gonna put some information over here, and and just gonna see what's happening over here. And here, the coolest thing that, for example, this button can look absolutely different on a different device. And here we just check everywhere on our website. We see that every button, everything looks exactly the same within all different browsers. So if we scroll down, we're going to see that everything looks fine for me. But if we have mockups or designs, we need to make sure that mockups or designs are our website is absolutely the same as our mockups. Okay, for now everything looks good. This icon is a little bit on the left, that's what I see. Because you see that this edge is as the first icon, but this edge is a little bit off. But I'm gonna verify this a little bit later with the ruler. Just take a screenshot and open Photoshop and see if the ruler is good. Or there is another application for Chrome. It's called Pixel Perfect, so you can do it there too. So far everything looks good. Yeah, so far everything looks good, our website is good, so yeah, this is how you test in Browser Stack. You don't have to have a lot of devices right now. You can just select everything that you want in Browser Stack and try to test it. They also have applications, but I don't have it over here, so but you have 30 minutes left on your free trial. So here you can install any application you want from Play Store or from Apple Store and test it. Okay, so let's go back to our our lecture, and now we're going to talk about the bug template. So for example, we saw a bug, like that little icon that is aligned a little bit to the left instead of this in the middle. So one of the most important skills that you need to have in your toolbox is the ability to write good bug reports. Finding defects is only part of the job, because if developers can't reproduce the bug you find, you're going to have a very tough time fixing them. On this slide, you can see a bug template that I use for every client that I work with. And developers are super happy because this template has all the necessary information and visuals. So let's see the example. So this is a screenshot from Trello, and this is how we describe bugs. You need to have a descriptive title. Everything starts with a title. It must be clear and descriptive so that you and other people that you work with get an idea of what is about at a glance. You need to have a really clear description. So try to remain clear and concise in your description. So describing something accurately is a skill that develops with practice. Just remember that the person reading your description has not seen the bug, and try not to make assumptions. We also have steps to reproduce, environment where the bug was found, preconditions. For example, here is the application is installed and the application is launched. Bug category. It's a UI bug, so we can see it's not a backend, it's a UI. Severity minor, so it's not a big bug, it's just like a little something. And we have steps to reproduce. It's not unusual for testers to work on multiple projects at the same time, and sometimes they will you will have a shared database. So ensure that your bug is listed in the correct project, and selection within that project is vital. So you also need to get the software version right. Sometimes a bug will be fixed when a different defect is addressed, or simply by some change in the newest version of the software. So if the version is wrong, developers may be embarking on a wild goose chase. Platform details. Any background information you can provide about your environment is going to help developers to track that bug down. What device were you using? What operation system was it running? What model was it? What browser did you use? So every detail you can give about the platform will help. For example, device type, model, version, OS version, anything. So here I have Windows 10 that's running on 64 and Chrome 78, version 78. Steps to reproduce. This is very, very important. You want to give a step-by-step account of exactly what you did to find any defect. Sometimes you can use software tools that catch your keystrokes or record screenshots or videos files as you test. Other times you will be writing from memory. So take notes as you go. Make sure that you test your own steps again. This is really important. Test it 2-3 times again before you submit the bug, because sometimes you just cannot reproduce it once again. Given an indication of reproducibility as well, can it be reproduced or not? So for example, it can be like, I can reproduce this bug 3 of 3 times. So every time you reproduce it, it's reproducible. Sometimes you'll be confident about your steps, but upon repeating them, the bug won't be necessary there. So it happens every time at random or only once. Then the developer needs to know that. Visual attachment. Supporting material is always helps to fix defects. Usually this will be screenshots, but I like to add screenshots and video. So for example, that link is a video. But keep in mind that most of the developers are visual. They have visual type of brain, so they look at your video and or a screenshot and then read the description. On the top you see members. It's usually you assign your ticket to a lead or lead developer, or just a developer. Don't leave it unassigned or wrongly assigned because it's dangerous thing. They can potentially slip through the cracks, and make sure that you're clear on the expectations for assigning. Okay, so just put it all together and bring all of this together, and you should have a good bug report. If you're uncertain about the quality of your bug reports, ask for feedback. Ask a team member or your QA manager or developer. Usually just a quick chat with the developers can really help to understand what they really need. Okay, so what's the difference between software bug or defect and an improvement or enhancement? Enhancement, it's adding enhancement or improvement. It's the same. It's when you add new functionality or changing existing functionality in a way that makes the application more efficient, faster, more usable, and more useful. So it makes the application better. It would be nice if user can log in For example, it would be nice if user can log in with Instagram to our application. Or it would be nice if user can have an ability to log out from all devices by clicking just on one button. Or it would be nice if the user can only see the history for the last 6 months when they log in. These are all suggestions. The template is almost the same for the improvements as for bugs. Template this template has the title, the environment, the steps to reproduce, the result, the expected result, and screenshot and video. So, for example, improvement, login history. The title gonna be login history for the last 6 months. Environment where the improvement was found, example.com/page. Steps to reproduce. 1. Log in as a user and then give the credentials, like test@mail.com, for example. And 2. Click on the profile. Result. User can see the login history of 3 months from the last session. Expected result. User can see the login history of 6 months of the last session. And you attach the screenshot and video. Better to do both. And assign this improvement to a product manager because they are deciding if it's going to be in the next iteration of your sprint or not. And message him or her or send an email. All right. So let's talk about the defects and the different types of the defects. So defects can be 2 types. Technical, it's a problem within the code or database layer of a software application that causes the application not to work as expected or give incorrect output. So technical bug is going to be when you open a website, you see a 500 error. Or it can be functional. Existing functionality or feature that is not serving the expected purpose. It's broken or lacking critical functionality to accomplish a particular task. For example, a user can log in, but he or she is not redirected to the dashboard. So when you're implementing an enhancement or improvement, it makes the application better. Fixing a functional defect makes the application correct and not necessarily better. Bug makes the application correct. Enhancement or improvement makes the application better. Okay, so now we know about bug life cycle, how to create clear, easy-to-step, reproducible bugs. We have a template for bug documentation, and we know the difference between a bug and a feature, and we know the template for a feature. So, feature enhancement. Now we're going to learn another tool that was made for communication, Slack. Slack headquarters are 15 minutes walk from where I live right now in Vancouver. So founders were developing an online game, but then the game became a tool, a chat that almost every tech company now uses it for communication or thinking about using it. So I'm pretty sure that you will be using Slack in your career and in your new job. And all of my clients are using Slack. So, okay, let's see, what is Slack? So Slack is a cloud-based application. So basically it's a website that helps developer and team to communicate faster in one place. And Slack has a web, desktop, and mobile application. And I absolutely love their desktop application and use it every day, even communicating with my own team. So why is it so cool? Because all team communication is in one place. One of the main pain points for most of the teams were the varied ways in which they were communicating. It quickly became overwhelming to track all the email threads in the Skype conversation, text messages, and other places in which teams were talking to each other. So that was such a big headache. So Slack communications happen all in one place and can be segmented by creating channels for various topics. And you can assign users to as many channels as you need, and you'll be assigned to like a few channels. Um, you all content is searchable from one search box, and you have searched your email inbox to find that one piece of information you needed, and you just like it's going within a thread, and it's so painful. So I tried it, and I guess you tried it too, and it's not an easy task. So Slack makes it that simple to find a link, even if it was posted 3 weeks ago, and you realize that you need to have a look at it now, for example, right? So it's not only in the search, it's not only that the search is fast, it's friendly, and you can filter it. So Slack really makes it simple to share these files. You can share the files quickly, and Slack it makes it super easy. And it also has Dropbox integration for more in-depth file access. All right, so that was Slack. And let's see, what do we have next? We have homework. Homework. Homework is going to be based on the topics that we discovered today and learned about them. So come up with one improvement for your application. It can be anything. It can be if you're testing an e-commerce website, come up with a functionality that you as a user would need and you feel that is really necessary. Just come up with something. Add this improvement in Trello and assign it to me, and send the link of this improvement through email at ilovemyk.com. Also, download Slack or just register in Slack. It's free, and see how it works. And try using Asana and Jira. So thank you so much for your attention, and good luck.